back. This is a town hall on climate action. We are coming to you live from Pwani University in Kilifi County, looking at climate action in the 6 counties of the coastal region of Kenya: Kilifi, Kwale, Mombasa, Lamu, Tana River, and Taita Taveta. I've got a panel with me here. My name is Eric Latif. I've got a panel with me here led by the host governor of Kilifi County, Gideon Mung'aro, who's also the chair of the Coast Regional Bloc, the Jumuiya Counties of Pwani. As we took the break, we heard what the counties have been doing and what needs to be done. The governor of Kilifi County, for example, told us, he had to amend the law so that a bit more money is allocated from the development budget of the county government to go towards specific programs that will be addressing climate action. 2% of that goes into climate action. What does 2% translate to? How much in terms of shillings per year?
With the development budget, around 140, 160, somewhere like that.
So about 150 million shillings per year to go towards this.
Yeah.
And you're already running now your first full, every governor was saying from June, July, we'll be operating our first full budget as the new administration. So is this already translating to the ground?
Yes, what we are doing is, it will be in this financial year, the 2024-2025.
The next financial year, all right.
We have already allocated the money to form the committees at the ward level. Also, what is happening is with the FLOCA project, which is a World Bank project, a lot of money has come to the national government, but does not reach the counties.
What does that mean?
The money comes to Treasury.
So FLOCA is a 5-year program.
I'm sure you have seen in the...
FLOCA is a 5-year program,
yes,
which is putting in money into a pot.
Yes.
World Bank managed, other donors, and then that should be coming to the counties so that it goes all the way to the communities. And you're saying so far, not a single shilling has been drawn from FLOCA?
So far, we have received only 11 million. But if you see the agenda we have for the next 5 years, in the 2023-2027, for example, what part of the programs we have in Kilifi is the establishment of different committees. Also, they developed the Kilifi County Action Plan 2023-2027. But at least this cycle of the counties, FLOCA has come back to the counties, although we have not received any money. The past 2017-2022, all the money which came from donors for climate action was held at the Treasury in Nairobi. It was being run by the CS Treasury then. We hope this one now, apart from the 11 million they have sent, which Kilifi is supposed to receive about 137 from the FLOCA program through World Bank, comes plus the money we are putting in, we should do many actions on the ground.
Governor, you sit at the Council of Governors, you engage with the national government. Why is the money not coming?
We have engaged the government, and after push and shove, we got the 11 million.
What have you done with the 11 million? Is it 11 million per county or 11 million for all the counties?
There are counties, FLOCA is not for all the counties. Yeah, it targets certain counties.
Yeah.
So we got 11 million. Part of the things we've been doing is there's a what you call first establishing the committees. You need to do there are certain actions you have to take.
Putting the structures in place.
The structures before you get any funding, which we did. Kilifi have since submitted. I've been talking to Treasury as late as 2 weeks ago, and they said, yes, Kilifi, you did well, we have everything in place, we'll get the money, but this is what we hear always. You must have had the government have announced the last 2 weeks that they have sent money for December for Kilifi County. We had it in the news, we have not seen the money. So this is what is going on around. So I think we need to take more action. Kilifi, during the El Nino, was affected more. We lost 26 lives in Kilifi County because of floods. Some houses fell in the middle of the night and killed some people. So we have had so many issues, and which we need really to focus on. We have been doing our bit as a county, especially during the El Nino. You had even during the El Nino when the government was claiming I've sent money to counties. We did everything by ourselves, with our emergency funds. But go today to this county, all the roads are more or less impassable. Yeah? Because after the El Nino, what we needed was at least to do interventions of repairing our roads and whatever. But if you don't get the money, yeah, because the unfortunate thing which is happening in counties is that even the on-source revenue, the money we collect, still goes to Nairobi, then it's brought to us. When we collect the money, it all goes to the CF account, which goes to Nairobi, then it's allocated. You know, at least if we had it and we could use it from source, we could do some of the interventions ourselves. But you collect your money, goes to Nairobi, you wait for 1 year to get it back. You know.
Of course, this is an opportunity for you. You're the chair of the Jumuiya.
I have something to say, Eric. I listened to Philip very carefully. The national government, you have had it yourself. When we are busy trying to now restore forests, plant trees, then you get the head of state announcing of having removed the ban of cutting logging. So where are we going? You know, you can't on one hand say we want to mitigate the action and the environment. Then the other hand, you are saying you have removed the ban of logging for wood in our forests. I think the priority, I agree with him, that our priorities as counties probably to a certain level, but the national government also. What I can say is we are trying to do a lot. I've been in office now for about 1.5 years. We have formed different groups at the ward level, but also we have put seedlings, and we are trying to encourage even schools. Yep. There are several schools we have working with, for example, in Ganze, where we are doing trees for cash. That instead of just planting any trees, we give the kids mango trees, oranges, so that is not only, we are not only reforesting, but we also can get cash because you can harvest after. Cashew nuts. We have a program we are doing with one of the factories here, and we are working very closely with the Embassy of Slovakia and USAID, yeah, on that program of planting and to use fruit trees as the target when we are trying to take our actions. So there are many things we can do. You are right. We have been a bit slow because, as you have seen, also the program, which is always done on environment. There's one big conference happening in Nairobi. You are aware, from Monday. Yep. The UNEP, United Nations Environment Program, which they are doing at Gigiri. But you'll see again, national government is the forefront. But what are they doing about it? After they don't get only money from donors, from loans, but also they get a lot of money from grants from donors. But once we see it we only see it in the, what you call the Gazette, what is it called? The National Gazette, when you do the allocations. Yeah? They say this money will go here, this money will go there, but there's no action.
There's no action. Governor, I want to just come back here. When you talk about, you know, what the two levels of government are saying, and it appears like there's a disconnect between what the conversation is off air and what the conversation is on air. We are going to plant trees, we are going to allow the logging. We've got to respond to this. There's a whole conversation about the baobab and the exportation of baobab. It has happened in your county. What's that all about? And how does that address?
This was a very sad story. That's why I'm telling you. The national government does not really, sometimes they preach water, but they're drinking wine. The issue of baobab in this county, and I engage these people directly, because at one time, these baobabs were all stored somewhere in Bofa Beach. One day, I woke up because I was operating from the residence here, and I saw trucks full of baobab now going to load in some deck here at the old ferry. And I summoned my officers and I said, can I see these people who are carrying this stuff? Then they came, they said, oh, now all of a sudden they have permission to take what they had uprooted. I picked the phone and called the Minister of Environment. And I said, what are you talking about? I thought these baobab trees were not leaving Kenya. Said, oh, we have allowed them to take only the 6, but not to come again. I told them, you can be sure they'll not come as long as I'm a governor here and I'm alive and I'm a Kilifi resident. You know, you can't say this story, this side, and the other side you're saying something else. I want to say something on that. The community is doing a lot. You go to a place called Kidundu here, when you talk of mangrove, there's a whole group of youth and women restoring mangrove. You go to Mida, the same is happening with different groups of youth and women who are doing it. You go to Dabaso, where I come from, my village. We do a lot of mangrove restoration. But check today, because of the blue carbon Gladys was talking about, already government have started even doing surveys without involving counties and starting negotiating with business communities out of Kenya. Probably you will go to Kidundu and find out that the whole mangrove of that area has already been auctioned by national government. And that's why we said we need to now come clearly and have asked the Department of Environment with lands to do a survey of all our mangrove areas. And if we see anything which has already been sold to the people who are engaged in the business of carbon credits, then we will protest and go to court. We're not going to allow it. You cannot come, you don't plant the trees. The women of Kidundu are planting, the women and youth of Mida are planting, and you come and just do a contract on behalf of Kilifi County. You receive the money in Nairobi. You don't even bring 1 shilling to the people who are doing the restoration of our mangroves.
So Suleiman, let's come to you, Zungumza kwenye ukumbi. Let's hear the people and what the communities are actually doing in terms of addressing their own daily existential issues. Suleiman.
Bila shaka Eric Latif, kama unavyosema, niko kwenye ukumbi. Ninaye kijana mmoja ambapo gavana amezungumzia Kidundu, na najua yeye ni mmoja ya wale ambao wamekuwa wakikaa katika eneo la Kidundu wakipanda mikoko. Banda, simama kidogo kwa dakika moja. Una yapi ambayo gavana ameyazungumzia kuhusiana na masuala ya floka na swala la Kidundu kwa dakika moja?
Mwanzo nataka ku appreciate gavana. Gavana amekuwa mkakamavu sana in terms of environment issues. Kwa vile wakati alikuwa MP kule Malindi kulikuwa kusafi sana. Hapo hongera. The other thing is, Mr. Governor, I think priorities and structures are very key. And with your department, umefanya a lot of things. First of all, when you came within this short time, umekuwa na the 2% that you've added to the act. You've had the green armies that we have. That is good. We have the ward committees that you formed. That is through FLOCA. That is good. But there is a lot that needs to be done. In your budget as a county, can you allocate some money to this team, to the department? Not waiting for the FLOCA. Something from the budget, the annual budget, so that this team that you have in that department can work out something in matters environment in this county. Thank you.
Asante Kelly Banda huyo, na nataka niende kwake Ali Mwanzei, manake pia alikuwa anataka kutetea sana serikali ya county na kazi ambazo zinaendelea, hususan ule mradi ambao unaendelea kule Lamu. Kwa dakika moja Ali.
Asante sana. My name is Ali Mwanzei, technical advisor to the Global Project. I just wanted to support the governors when he talked of having completed the Climate Change Act for the county. Waziri from Taita Taveta also talked of the Climate Change Act for Taita Taveta and Climate Change Action. We are also talking with all the County Executive Committee members with regard to preparing the Climate Smart Agriculture Action Plan for every county, so that we can bring in that aspect of regenerative agriculture or backyard kitchen gardening, so that we promote leafy vegetables and legumes in all the counties, because it's critical. We have over 700,000 households, and each household is struggling to plant some maize depending on the rainfall to come. But the rains are not coming. So we're really supporting the government in terms of looking into that aspect of regenerative agriculture, backyard kitchen gardening, so that we can try to improve the nutrition levels by using leafy vegetables and the legumes in that particular aspect. So I wanted to add into that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ali.
Asante sana. Huyo ni Ali Mwanzei ambaye ni mtaalamu wa kimkakati na kiufundi. Nataka nitafute mwanadada mmoja ambaye aweze kutupatia kauli yake na yeye. Maana yake tumewasikia wakizungumza kwa kina. Mapenzi, nadhani uko na kauli unataka kuzungumza.
Asante sana kwa hii fursa. Nataka pia nichukue nafasi hii kupongeza county government vile inavyofanya. But swala langu kubwa kwa bwana gavana, hivi juzi tumeona kule upande wa Matangoni Uyombo, na Matangoni tunajua ni one of the richest maeneo yenye mambo ya blue economy imepewa kipaumbele, na samaki wengi Kilifi kule wanatoka. Lakini kumekuwa na tetesi mambo, kuna power plant ama sijui ni nuclear power plant ambayo inafaa iwekwe sehemu ile. So wewe kama gavana, ni mikakati gani ambayo umeiweka ambayo itatuhakikishia sisi kama wakaaji wa Kilifi eneo letu la Uyombo bado itabaki kwa salama, na yule mwanamke pale nyanjani bado ama wale wavuvi bado samaki wataweza kuvua na watu wetu hawatafurushwa, kwa sababu watu sai rozi iko juu hawajui what will happen next. So wewe ni mikakati gani ambayo uko nayo na tunahakikisho gani kuwa wale watu pale chini watabaki pale, na utatuhakikishia vipi?
Asante sana. Nataka nirudi kwako Eric Latif. Na unapo kuna maswali matatu na yote akiwa ameelekezwa kwa gavana Mung'aro na wengineo ambao wapo katika jopo hilo hapo.
Asante sana Suleiman Yeri. Tutarudi kwako tena baadaye muda mfupi kidogo. Governor, let's start with this first one.
Asante. Nafikiri mambo mawili ama matatu yametajwa. Kwanza, masuala ya bajeti na ni vipi tunaweza kusaidia umma kufanya mambo ya kuchunga mazingira yetu. Kwanza nataka niseme hatukuwa na sababu yoyote ya kwamba tusiweze kuwa tayari. Sababu kubwa ni kwamba kama ninavyosema, nilichukua kaunti ambayo ilikuwa na asilimia inaitwa 0.5 ya bajeti. So the reason why we didn't have money now 2023-2024 allocated to it, kwa sababu ilikuwa lazima ni change sheria kwanza. Singeweza kuweka pesa kwa bajeti ambazo hazikufanywa sheria. So mwaka mzima, wewe angalia, nilikuwa mwaka na nusu, niliweza kufanya public participation, tukafanya yote, ndio tukaunda sheria mpya ya kuweza kuturuhusu tuweke bajeti. Ndio maana kwa sababu tulifanya karibu mwisho wa mwaka, na kama mnavyojua bajeti za Kenya ni inaanza mwezi wa 6 mpaka wa 6. Kwa hivyo tulipomaliza sheria yetu mpya ilikuwa karibu mwezi wa 12, tukapitwa na wakati. Lakini wananchi wa Kilifi wataona mwaka huu ambao sasa tuko na sheria kwamba kutakuwa na bajeti ya kuweza sisi kushughulikia na wananchi wetu, hasa wale ambao wamejitolea huko, unaona kama Kidundu na kwingine. Na nakubaliana na Gladys vile amesema, Kilifi hii iko na NGOs ama mashirika yasiyo ya serikali zaidi ya 250. Lakini kila mtu anafanya kazi yake. Pengine mara nyingine wengine hata wanaenda kufanya kazi mafanya na mwenzao, wapige picha waseme imefanywa. Ndio maana nimesema na nimeongea na nilikuwa na mkutano na CSOs zaidi ya 200 miezi 2-3 iliyopita, na mwezi wa 5 tumepanga kuita mkutano mkubwa wa kila shirika ambalo si la serikali linafanya kazi Kilifi. Tukae kwa room hivi tuulizane, wewe unafanya kazi ipi, wewe unafanya ipi, pesa zako unapeleka wapi, ili tuweke hizi pesa zote kwa kikapu kimoja. Watu wengine 10 wanafanya kazi moja, na haijulikani ni kazi gani wengine wanafanya. Nilipokuwa na mkutano na magavana wa Pwani na European Union, kitu moja ambacho niliwaambia waziwazi bila kusita, niliwaambia sasa mambo ya kizungu tumalize. Kizungu mumeongea kutosha. Our grandparents they have been empowered, wamekuwa na capacity building ya kutosha. Sasa tuende tutengeze infrastructure. Tuache maneno ya kukaa kwa mahoteli tena na maroom na mikutano kila siku. I told the European Union, they are witnesses. I told them wacheni kizungu. I spoke for 2 minutes. I told them wacheni kizungu sasa, let's go to the ground. Hii pesa yote mnakaa nayo kwa mahoteli na ndege mwachane nayo.
Walikubali ama walikwambia?
We had a meeting in Voi after that. I think I made sense. So we had all the ambassadors in Voi with all the governors, and we did a tour of the coast. Because of this subject of climate and generally the funding they bring in different projects, which are handed over to some NGOs, which some of them we don't know what they do. but they receive a lot of money. So that's why I said I want to have an engagement. I've done the first stretch of that. I engaged at KCC Kilifi 200 CSOs. Now in July, in May, sorry, I'm not only inviting the NGOs, but even their funders, the embassies. I'll write to every embassy and invite them for that meeting. Let's sit and have a conversation. Yeah? And even the national government, I think the World Bank, the European Union, all the donors who bring grants and even loans, they should just work directly with the counties. Why do you want to have, why hire a lawyer when you can buy the judge?
So, Governor,
No,
that's harmonization of all the activities by donor. There is a question that's come up on the issue of nuclear and, of course, community questions and concerns about some of these projects that come up this one of the nuclear power plant has been a funny one recently.
Yes, I didn't answer that one. The issue of power plant, the NUPEA program in Matsangoni, I think I've engaged the NUPEA people that have come to see me for a courtesy call, and I was very clear with them. I told them, before I make any commitment as a county, governor and my team, the executive or the assembly, first let's have an engagement. Let's get to know the pros and cons of this nuclear plant. How will it affect our people? What are the benefits? What are the measures for safety? All this before I put my final word. And that's why I've been quiet, because some of the time they have been doing also wrong engagements. They always think they can come to Kilifi, rush to Matsangoni, engage people, and move on. It does not work like that. There's leadership. And the moment I'll go to Matsangoni and say, forget this program, it's not good for us, I don't think they'll move anywhere. But they think, what we say here in our local community is that they are climbing the tree from the top down. I thought this government is bottom up, but now we can see this one is coming down up, from down, up, down. So it does not work that way. This thing of nuclear, we know nuclear energy has really progressed. They have done many soft measures, but I want to say as a county, we have not yet adopted and we have not yet tabled in our assembly or to the cabinet to discuss and agree on the NUPEA or a nuclear plant in Matsangoni.
Are there plans to do that? Are there plans to do that?
Yes, we will, when the time comes.
Okay.
At the moment, we are just watching these guys who think they can come to Kilifi and go around and talk to the public. By the time they will realize that we are going to tell our people, no, we are not going to have it, then they will realize there's leadership. Because now when they came for courtesy call once, I don't want to refuse that, but I was very clear to them from day one that I'm not going to commit anything on this nuclear project in Matsangoni. Let's engage the public, let's engage the leadership, including the assembly. Yeah, they'll have to pass it in the assembly. Okay. We are not just going to do something because we are told, oh, we'll get this, we'll get that. We need to get all the issues around it.
Thank you, Governor. Governor, are the law sufficient?
I think the
money... Do you need the court to...
Sorry?
Do you need the courts to make...
I think so if it doesn't happen soon, because even in our last summit with the president, we agreed on the THRC. We are given 6 months to finalize the transfer of
functions.
The remaining functions. But the only one we have received is a library at the moment, after 6 months.
And museums.
Library without even salaries. All the workers of libraries now have been sent to the county, and we got less 7 million salary. So we are paying again from the county kit. The money today which is supposed to come to the counties, especially on agriculture, there are so many items in agriculture where the national government is still holding the money. You saw the other day the Auditor General said, if we got all the money of the devolved functions in agriculture, probably we'll get another 276 billion. When you go to health, the same. They are still holding. How can you be still holding over 160 billion at national government on health when health is devolved? So here we have El Nino, we have waterborne diseases, we have all the problems we are facing. When you come to agriculture, if you see Kilifi today, we have in the plan we have in our CIDP, one of the really urgent things we want to do is water harvesting. We had El Nino the other day. Go around Kilifi and you'll see it's dry again. Soon you'll start doing relief food to communities. When, if we had all this money, which is rightfully devolved to counties, we would have put dikes, would have put, we are doing it as a county, we have bought water tanks now to put in schools. And in July, you'll see more, because we want to, in the institutions, we want to harvest water when it's raining. Yeah, because many of the schools, ni shule za mabati, so you could harvest water and use it again for something else. But all this money...
Governor,
yeah.
Look, we gave ourselves a constitution. We said we shall have 2 levels of government. We said these functions shall be devolved unit functions, these ones shall be national unit functions. You 2 levels of leaders are unable to have a conversation around it. Do you want us to take the constitution back and start doing these things ourselves?
We have already taken some matters to court, and we are waiting, because you realize there's back and forth always, talking and no much action. As I've said, there's so much money still which we can mitigate climate change. The funds you could get, the amounts you could get in agriculture, because one of the losses we get, like the other day we had floods, is crops were destroyed, many things happened. And in agriculture, fishing, blue economy, is part of the programs you have in agriculture as devolved to the county. But look today, we have to still work with the Ministry of Blue Economy, all the money comes there, then they decide even who will do the contract in Kilifi. And this happens also with the Equalization Fund. For over 10 years, the Kenya government has collected money for Equalization Fund. Kilifi County is one of those counties. But because there are some people who want to do business back in Nairobi, they were not releasing the money to the counties. The money is in a consolidated fund. It's running to billions. Now, we thank God that the new chair is Captain Roba, who was the governor of Mandera, and because he's now in charge of the Senate, for the first time, now the counties will receive the money directly to implement project on the ground.
Okay.
But what are we doing to take all these actions? As a county ourselves in Kilifi, for example, we are devolving the functions. I have just formed 3 new municipalities, which I'm going to launch soon: Mutwapa, Watamu, Mariakani, Mazeras. We had Malindi and Kilifi. We are, as executive, we are devolving now the functions from the governor and the CEC's level and chief officers to the municipalities.
Taking them to municipalities,
so that we devolve
towns.
the funds. If it's a climate action or whatever, we devolve it there so
Governor,
that things can be done on the ground.
Thank you.